to my studio. Today we're going to be working on bow making. So since we've got so many projects coming up with bows, I decided let's just do a video just on how to do bows. Most of your ribbon comes in either 3 yards or 9 feet, and I like the kind with the wire in it because you can always fluff it back out, whereas if you bend the other you can't fluff it back out, and it's easier to tie the bow and hold its shape with the wire. So that's real important with me. I found some really fun Halloween ribbon at Michael's, and this is in their ribbon section, and I'm going to use this on some of my Halloween projects, but I just thought it was a really nice ribbon. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to take it and we're going to figure out how long you want to leave that first little tail, and you always bend it around once and kind of know how big of an area you want your bow, and we're going to twist it every time we cross that middle. We're going to twist it, and you want to keep your design on the outside so that it always shows, and to make sure these are kind of the same length, bring them up on that first time to make sure that you've got those kind of the same length. You always want to work with odd numbers. If you're doing a bow, you want 3 on this side and 3 on this side, or 5 and 5, or 7 and 7. You do not want to make them even. It makes the bow lay down nicer. And if you have the wire ribbon, it's a lot easier to hold onto as well when we're working with this and we're just twisting it with our fingers. And sometimes that's the hardest part for people, is to hold that ribbon. And just keep on working here. So I've got 3 and 3 on each side, and if you were doing that and that's all you had room for, that would be just fine, but I want 5. So I'm going to do, and I'm not going to worry about placing it quite so much till I start to fluff it. I'm more worried about getting it kind of the same length on each side. And I'm on my 5th one now. And you can place it more in line if you want to. And by that I mean having 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top if you were doing 5. Okay, this is my last one here. We're going to twist that down and see how that turned out just about right. If you had extra, or if you wanted more down here, you could do 3 and then have more tails. Now I like to use Chanel pipes. We always call them cleaning pipes, especially with big bows like this, because they're easier to tie with than the little tiny wires, and then you can tie them on. When I'm doing decorating for church weddings and stuff like that, I always make sure this is what I use, and then you have this to tie onto something else, and it's just so much easier to handle than just a little wire. Okay, so we're going to pull these tails down, and let's set our ribbon down. And now, like I said, I'm going to put 3 on the bottom. We're going to fluff those out. So I have 1, 2, and 3, and then more 2. And I'm going to move that one up to the top and that one down to the bottom. And like I said, when you're making it, you can do that more that way. Okay, so those 2, figure out which ones are more on the top. And then we're going to put these 2 on the bottom. 3 on the bottom, excuse me. Fluff those out. Okay. And then you always want to kind of shape them so that they look like they're one bow, that they don't look like they're separated. Kind of blend them in together. So there we have our nice bow. Now what I'm going to do on my tails here is I'm going to cut them at a slant, and I like to do my longer piece inside. So this is longer than this end. You could also do it, cut it this way so you have a little tail where they're both the same. Now another thing I do, when I'm working with wire, I always pull my wire up and I cut it. So those don't hang out later because they always show later. You don't want to cut too much that you're losing your wire for your shape, but just enough so that those aren't poking out. And get this guy. Now if you had some extra ribbon, just cut it in different shapes and, you know, kind of measure it here and tie it on the back when you're tying the rest of it on, or sometimes open it back up and put it right there and have different tails coming down off your ribbon there as well. But that is the basics on how to do a ribbon. It really isn't hard, and I know they have different tools out there and everything, but once you practice a little bit with it, it will be just fine and you won't have any problems with that, especially if you're working with the wire. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. You can visit my website at miriamjoy.com. There's a YouTube link where we take you over to see more fun YouTube videos, and also a Facebook link where we're always doing something new and fun daily on there. So thank you for joining me today. God bless.